877-743-8337 or visit ImpactRaceGear.com to get started on your Simply Awesome race shirts.
Give yourself safer, smoother towing with Shocker Hitch. Choose from our best-selling air bumper hitches with over 10 ball mount attachments and up to 12.5 inches of drop. Or our air tongue mounts that give instant air ride towing to any trailer. For hotshot drivers, check out our Gooseneck Surge air ride towing hitch and shift lock coupler. For campers, our quick air fifth wheel camper hitches, making every camping trip smooth and safe. Got a bumper pull camper? Check out our air equalizer for weight distribution. Check this out and more at shockerhitch.com for safer, smoother towing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 19th running of the Rio Grande Waste Services Wild West Shootout, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. If you're here on the grounds, we want to let you know that O'Reilly Auto Parts does have a tent set up in the midway area behind the main grandstand. Stop down, get some information and some goodies from the good folks at O'Reilly's, and let them know that you appreciate them supporting this event. Ben, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather as it stands right now. It's got up to 42 outside today, clear skies, and that middle one's the big thing, man. Very, very little wind out here today.
Yeah, it's really not bad in the sun, but hey, the sun's going to set. It's going to be cool tonight. That's why we're going to move things along. No heat race interviews, and we're going to probably just talk to the winners in Victory Lane. It's going to be nice tomorrow, 56 degrees. It's going to feel like a total heat wave. Get your sunblock ready, and then Sunday's looking beautiful as well, high there in the low to mid-50s. As we take a look at the points heading into tonight in all the divisions, and I tell you what, Bobby Pierce, he's perfect right now. He's won both features, 87 points to win the feature events, and so he's got 174. Brandon Shepard nipping at his heels there in second. You see the balance of the Dirt Track Bank Super Late Model points presented by Black Diamond Race Cars.
Absolutely. Hey, one slip up, right? One slip up, you never know. You never know what can happen. That is a look at the point standings, as been mentioned, for the Dirt Track Bank Super Late Models, presented by Black Diamond Race Cars. And Bobby Pierce and Brandon Shepard, Ben, had an absolute slobber knocker here on Sunday. Dare I say, an early contender for Race of the Year candidate. Look, there's still a long ways to go in the season, but without further ado, let's check out the highlights. And it all started with the Corbett, Oregon driver Colin Weinbarger jumping out to the early lead.
Yeah, I thought Colin was going to be the world conqueror for a while. I mean, he ran a really good race. It's still a great night for that team. Things behind him, though, man, it was getting crazy. As you see the battling for the second spot, you got Alberson, Marler, and Pierce. And really, at one point, you're like, man, 3 guys going for second. How can it get better? Well, I can tell you, it became 7 guys going for the lead. But the racetrack was on point. Chad Bowman and the guys had it perfect back on Sunday.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And on the point that you made at one point or at one time in that race, there were 7 drivers all within the same half straightaway of each other. As you see Garrett Alberson, Mike Marler, and Bobby Pierce doing battle right there. And but still, they all trailed Colin Weinbarger at the start of this race. Weinbarger would actually lead the first 22 laps here on Sunday.
He would, and that battle right now you see was the battle for third on back. They start to reel in Weinbarger, and I'm going to be honest, Sheppy was so good. Brandon Shepard in the B5 on the bottom, you see him get to the lead. I thought Shepard was going to stake it up, but as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right there. You just saw that 7-car battle, and when that caution flag came out, Weinbarger would slide back. Brandon Shepard would find his way to the front of the field, Ben.
He did, and you know, Pierce at one point had fallen back to almost 5th. He gets around Alberson for second, and that's when the battle just begins. 2 Land O'Lincoln boys duking it out in the desert, and it was vintage Vado.
Yeah, they threw some haymakers at each other as well. Crisscross applesauce as Brandon Shepard's able to work his way back by, and Sheppy would actually lead on the white flag lap amidst lap traffic. And we're going to see that here in just a second, man. Things got really hairy as Bobby Pierce, he slid by momentarily. Pierce actually led a lap. I don't know if it was that one right there, but Pierce got by and led a lap. And then when the white flag came out here momentarily, man, you thought, oh, Brandon Shepard may have this one. As you said, not so fast.
Yeah, I mean, lap traffic was hairy, and these guys were doing everything they could. And as you head down toward the checkered flag, where's Shepard going to go? Where's Pierce going to go? They race to the checkered. Shepard goes full send. Pierce lets it drift to the middle. Your feature winner was Bobby Pierce.
Absolutely, as it was another one for the ages out here in the desert at FK Rodden's Vado Speedway Park. Well, Ben, it's been a long time coming. We were going to do it on Wednesday, and we got snowed out. We were going to do it on Thursday and got snowed out. The 2025 FloRacing Night in America schedule. Those 2 drivers will be joining us once again with a host of others. And without further ado, there she is.
I'm really proud of this one. I'm proud of every schedule this year. And we've got some old favorites. We got some new ones. We opened West Speedway. That's going to be their grand reopener on May 6th. Kicks off Illinois Speed Week. 5 nights this year. For Illinois Speed Week will be 3 of them, and then the Lucas Oil Series presented by Flo will be the last 2. But yeah, back to Spoon. Weather got us last year at Spoon. Lincoln, I think we had to reschedule 8 times. We finally got it in. And then back to your place, Sport Mod Drive. You'll get to sleep in your own bed on May 13th as we head to the mighty Marshalltown.
Absolutely glad that we could work Marshalltown back in the schedule this year. Eldora falling in Fairbury, falling on what's become traditional dates for them. I-75 in September. Ben, we got rained out last year. Couldn't make it happen, so we're going to put it back on the schedule this year, and then one that we are all very excited for.
Yeah, locked it down at the Dome, and I shook hands with Tom and Blake Helfrich, and we are heading to Tri-State Speedway in Hopstadt, Indiana for the first time ever, September 24th. I think that's going to be a bang-em-up field, and then we wrap things up the 5th Annual Peach State Classic at the Pollard family-owned Sonoy Raceway, November 14th and 15th. It's going to be your best 8 finishes count once again. We hope to get all 10 races in next year. We got 8 last year. We're going to hope for all 10, but you can go to flowseries.com, floseries.com, and DJ, I know that you're never going to please everybody, but as you look at that, I think there's a little something for everybody. And again, LaSalle, a new track on there. I-75 rained out last year, so it's going to be a new one. And Tri-State as well, a new one. And then you bring back some old favorites like Marshalltown. It's going to be a great time.
Absolutely. Look, there's about 20 other tracks we would love to have on there, and about 50 that have reached out to you and Michael Rigsby and myself. But it's a chess game, right? You gotta find events, or you gotta find dates that work really well. Number one, for the drivers, right? And then falling in line with that would be the race tracks as well, and everybody else. You got to find dates that are compatible and locations that are compatible with both national series, because we do have drivers that run Lucas. We have drivers that run with the Outlaws, and it's, look, there's never an exact formula where you're going to please everyone, but I'm with you, man. I think that's a really cool looking schedule. There's a few tracks on there that folks have clamored for a long time. Marshalltown's back on this year, wrapping up at Sonoy, Fairbury, Illinois Speed Week, man. That is, I dig it. And ladies and gentlemen, there you go.
There it is. Well, it came out a little later than we hoped, and definitely later in the week. But hey, man, we did it here tonight.
Hey, it is what it is.
FK Rod-Ins Vado Speedway Park, presented by Low Voltage Solutions. And I want to welcome Gary St. Cyr to the house from Low Voltage Solutions. We met him. He was having dinner the other night with Bobby Pierce and Royal Jones and those guys. And brand new sponsor this year, presenting sponsor of the racetrack and the sponsor of the racing action. As you see on your screen, Nate Ranke, the Lisbon, North Dakota driver, the Lisbon Smiles, number 71, 10-time winner last year, I-94 Speedway track champion. As we have, 44 mods signed in the X-Mod division, the Shocker Hitch X-Mods presented by Border Tire, and a fantastic field. And as you said, DJ, some newcomers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy Davis there on your screen in the 27. He is not a newcomer in the Shocker Hitch X-Mod division. As you see, the Bartlesville, Oklahoma driver. Behind him in the 57, Duke Erickson, been with us all week long out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. 4-time winner last year. 2 of those at the Wagner. By the way, Wagner Speedway in South Dakota, home of the bone-in pork chop sandwich, one of my favorites, by the way. And I-90,
delicious.
Yeah, fantastic. So make sure you don't get the bone-in part. Hunter's, let's see, Devin Jobin there behind him in the 81. You saw Scott Bentz on your screen in the one. Who else we got? We got Mr. Rob Mosley.
Undefeated so far.
He is, and they were down there. He was trying to get a tire on the rim of that race car when I was down there, and they were working hard at it as well. Behind him, his good friend Hunter Sandy in the 7S. And there's a good look at Hunter Sandy, the next driver on the Speedway. He runs with us here regularly, unable to get to us until this weekend. The M77 out of Bosque Farms, New Mexico, Cameron Martinez. There's a look at Scott Bentz, the redheaded rebel on your screen. Next, you're going to see the 77, the black and orange 77 of Cameron Martin, one of the regulars here. There he is, out of Bosque Farms, New Mexico, in the M77. Brian Barnett behind here, Brian Barrett behind Bennett. Thank you. I was trying. Brian Bennett and Christy Barnett, both behind.
Don't say Georges.
The M77. No, her Facebook profile might say that, but the Georges, you can take it out. So there's a look. There's a look at the 10 and the 44 on your screen.
Right behind them, Shane Bailey, the Kearney, Missouri driver, 6-time winner a year ago. The Bethany Fairgrounds Outlaw late model track champion last year in the James Down LLC Downs Cattle Company car number 7. Beautiful race car. He's been with us all week. And behind him, how about the guy that owns the race car, the 345, right. Jimmy Downs, the Downs Cattle Company GRT out of Maysville, Missouri. First wave of Dirt Draft Hot Laps, and Andy Davis Only driver in the 17-second bracket, 17.918. And DJ, this staff has worked all afternoon, well, really all day after the snow yesterday, as still got cars
rolling in. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, this I looked. The pictures are out there. I mean, it was covered in snow. There was just an incredible. Listen, it was actually snowing over 2 hours south of us, well into Mexico. That's all you need to know. The Arctic blast that a lot of you are experiencing and have experienced at home, and we hope everyone's doing well and power is okay and roads are good and things like that. I mean, it came right through here. It started here, and just
2 different snowstorms. They said the last time it snowed back-to-back days, they couldn't tell us. The last time it snowed at all, last time we were here.
Last year. Yeah, absolutely. All right, next group of drivers made their way out. You just saw the 96 or the 93 on your speedway of Greg Gorham. Next car on the racetrack behind him is
Kyle Nanko in the 23.
It is Kyle Nanko in the 23. Absolutely. I talked to Kyle back there in the pit area. Dirtworks chassis for the Grants New Mexico driver. The CP3. Now, that is not going to be Colton Poland, who has driven that car
advertised,
in the past. Absolutely. That's actually going to be another Grants New Mexico driver. That's Nathaniel Cruz in the Darby Racing Engines. I said, who's your sponsors? He said, just thank my friends and family. So there you go. The friends and family.
You just did it.
Nathaniel Cruz in the CP3.
Justin Allen right behind him in the 33, the Allen Racing Engine, Hacienda Carpet and Tile Rage Chassis number 33. Rolling behind him. How about Clint Arthur in car 21C? First time, to my knowledge, he has ever been to this event.
It is, absolutely, as the Rowlett, Texas driver. Yeah, and the Arthur Heating and Air SDG Hydra Seed TDN Farm sponsored number 21C on your screen. I was down there talking to him and his family in the pit area. He said, I'm just excited to be racing on FloRacing, he said.
We're glad to have him here. The 96R of Dusty Riggs out of Hatch, New Mexico. The AEW engine, Shaw Race Car, DR Electric race car number 96. And Deuce Teague behind him. Frequent flyer here at Vado Speedway Park out of Las Cruces. The AOS race car, Cam Teague powered Metalcraft Company, Air Serv Heating and Cooling of Southern New Mexico, car 02.
Next driver on the speedway is going to be the number 12, one of the many number 12s out of Las Cruces. That's Mike Rosales in the Hacienda Carpet and Tile sponsored entry. And Hacienda Carpet and Tile Row back there on the back straightaway, 5th in the track's point standings here 1 year ago. And he's going to be followed by the driver of the number 37. And I believe that's going to be the Las Cruces, New Mexico native of Robert Trujillo in the 37, a duct tape number on the side of that entry now. Behind him, Ben, is going to be the driver of the number 23.
Another new arrival.
Yep, that is a new arrival. And that is going to be Cody Tupper out of Branchard, Louisiana in the Abatex Cliffs Welding Service, NAPC Bags and Films, Joe's Auto Sales sponsored J2 race car with the best racing engine under the hood for the 23T of Cody Tupper.
The 25K, that'll be Kel Murphy out of Tullis, Louisiana, the Murphy Oil Company, DX Financial, Yeoman-powered Hughes race car, 9-time winner last year.
And the driver behind him is going to be the driver of the 161, another new entry, Remington Bud. He goes by Rem. He told me Rem Bud out of Houghton, Louisiana in the DTS.
That sounds like a party.
That's right, the DTS-powered Dominator race car. The Bud Construction, Lynn's Launch and Fence, Coburn Supply, DuPont Auto Services sponsored number 161.
He's one of those, you grilling out this week? Yeah, we're going to invite Rem Bud over. He's going to do all the grilling. I like it. Well, again, great field of Shocker HX mods presented by Border Tire. Mr. Rob, we saw him in the last set. Rob Mosley, undefeated. He had never won a Wild West Shootout feature. He won last Saturday, and he had so much fun. He did it again on Sunday, and him and old lady got the race car dialed in here tonight. He still has a chance, DJ, at the Arizona Differential by Nate 4 or more challenge. And in this division, if you win 4 or more features, you can pick up a $2,500 bonus courtesy of Arizona Differential by Nate.
I saw Mrs. Rob back there as I was going by the when the name slips me, the command center. What we in the command center? Thank you.
The Whistler Construction
Command Center.
Yep.
Thank you. And she goes, well, I drew good again. I said, oh yeah. She goes, yeah, 90 something. I said, that don't sound too good. She goes, oh no. She goes, I've drawn really high, and he started in the back of every heat race to get those passing points. She said, that 21C at Clint Arthur, man, that's a good looking car, a little new and a little old, and I really, really like it, man. Really cool to talk to Clint back there in the pit area. Super, super excited to be here, and like I said, just he was incredibly, incredibly happy to be on FloRacing for the first time. I felt like a celebrity down there in that pit area, man. I was shaking hands and kissing babies and signing autographs, and our pets' heads were falling off.
Yeah, I was shoveling ice.
Yes, that you were.
No, all good, man. I tell you what, it's good to see some newcomers here this weekend, and some guys had to go home. Some guys said, you know what? They didn't think we were going to race the DJ. today, DJ, but look at us. Here we are.
Look at us now.
Who would have thought it? I did, because I believe in our staff. And not only do we have Chad Bowman and Lewis Breeden here, but we also have Ray Cook, the Hall of Famer.
Oh, my.
He was
Ray
here
Nathan.
helping with track prep, and he is our late model tech guru for the weekend, if you will. And he's been on the grader here helping out as well. And the staff, they did a fantastic job. I got here at 1 today, and she was juicy. That's the only best way to put it. She was juicy. Turns out some snow and frost and Mother Nature can do some things to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, again, I mean, there are some people who are going to say, man, it's, 42 degrees. Why are you guys racing? Well, we have 120, 130 drivers already on the grounds. The track, as you can see, is looking pretty good right now. And it's an opportunity for these guys to race. If you don't want to race, you don't have to. You don't have to.
100%. Nobody was forced to race. It was their choice. Remington Bud pulls to the infield. Now, out of Houghton, Louisiana, when you think of Houghton, I'm going to put you on the spot. What late model driver do you think of? His hauler's actually in the pit area because somebody else has bought it.
Oh, man. I knew you were going to throw that on me.
It's Ray Moore.
I was going to say I could have the 17. I could think of the 17, but I couldn't think of that. I could think of Ray.
Former SUPR champion and, man, former Pelican 100 winner.
Yeah.
Arclotex. He won a barn burner one year over Ronnie Lee Hollingsworth, who, by the way, was in a race car again recently.
I saw
and
that.
Bub McCool in the fold as well. We got to get Ray back in. Every once in a while, Ray will send me a text. And he said, man, I don't know if I'm smart enough to do this anymore. He goes, it's changed so much. And Kyle Strickler actually has the Ray Moore hauler over in the pit area. I think Ray's going to come back.
Well,
I think they
Ray,
always come back.
Ray, we all work in racing, so none of us are incredibly smart. So I think you're just fine, man. I think you're just fine.
I know in the South they would love to see the 93 back again. As I tell you what, right now it feels like one of the tracks around home, one of the gumbo tracks. As again, she's got a lot of moisture in her, but right now looking pretty good. They're giving them a few extra laps, get this racetrack rolled in, as we'll have hot laps again for the X mods and the mods. And then they'll have passing point heat races as always. And then we'll go to Swift Springs qualifying, presented by Scriven Motor Speedway's Winter Freeze for the super late models.
Right, you've had an incredibly busy day so far. Were you able yet to set your dirt draft fantasy lineup?
I'm just going to lay it on you. I don't think there's any world that's happening today.
Oh,
if
boy,
I get a break, I will do it. But no, I did not, because we knew some guys had left.
Yeah, that's true.
And we didn't know who was going to be here or not, so I didn't get to do the starter lineup. And
I set my starter lineup, yeah.
I may or may not get a chance to do that. We'll see. I hope I do. I'm going to look. You're going to beat me no matter what. That's the reality of it all.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I understand the situation.
Andy Davis still the fastest in dirt draft hot laps right now for the Shocker Hitch X mods, presented by Border Tire. Hunter Sandy second quick. Scott Benz third. Christy Barnett fourth. Justin Allen fifth. Once again, these drivers drew pills a little bit earlier on this afternoon to determine their starting positions in one of 4 heat races coming up a little bit later. The top 16 out of passing points will lock into the main event. The balance of the field will then make their way into heat races here, as we have got the next wave of drivers making their way on the track, and they're going to be led out. Is that Dawson Manicky?
Manicky.
Manicky. It's like 2 words almost, right? Is that him?
Manicky.
Okay, I don't. Did he?
No,
have
I think
another?
that's a different.
Yes.
Word.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, but I think. Yeah, that's Dawson. That is Dawson making his way back out. Ran with us last weekend in cart number 14 out of Las Cruces. The Shaw LS by GBR. Galvin Brothers Racing. Gorham Racing number 14. And behind him, speaking of Gorham Racing, the number 3 of Dickie Gorham out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. The veteran, the Precision Engineering Race Engine, GRT by AOS. Revolution Realty entry, 10th in last year's B-Mod standings here at Vado Speedway Park.
And the driver behind him
Lay this one on me, DJ.
So I talked to her back in the pit area, and that's going to be the driver of the 21R, Riella Fanning, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. She is the defending Rookie of the Year at both Sandia and Legacy in the Cooters Garage. Todd Bud Long, Bert Fisher sponsor, number 21R. Riella, like Gabriella, it's Riella.
Oh, it's
Fanning.
not Riella. I would have thought it might have been Riella.
Nope, it's Riella. Yep,
right,
I got to talk to her and her family down there. No doubt on who this one is. That's going to be the driver of the number 40, Blake Adams, out of Cameron, Wisconsin. The 15-year-old with 19 wins a year ago in the Adams Automotive-powered MB race car, the EMR Olson Custom Farms. Collins Brothers Towing, Cole Searing Motorsports sponsored, number 40D.
Welcome to the desert, Josh Balcom. His first race, a Shreveport, Louisiana driver, the PTS Racing Engine GRT. I'm going to guess Bechet Logging. I'm going to go with
I
that.
think it's Bechet as well.
Butts
Yep, good
Construction
job.
and Dominator Race Cars, all sponsors. 9 wins a year ago. Last year, second in the Arclotech Speedway Pro Mod point standings at car 25. And behind him at car 22, all the way from Estevan, Saskatchewan, it's Keenan Glasser and the MX Ranch, Huts Trucking, CNR Lubricants, crate-powered GRT for the 4-time winner last year, Keenan Glasser.
The next driver on the Speedway in the 102, he must have been a
Leonidas is back.
Oh, is it Leonidas?
It's Leonidas Tanner.
Well, I've got Leonidas Tanner down here out of Carlsbad, New
That's
Mexico.
right. He lives next to the cave. He does
Well,
not.
how about, well,
We don't
he
know
might.
that. He
You don't
could.
know that.
Don't know for a fact.
How about that?
Welcome back, Leonidas. Good to see him.
Leo.
And then God's been with us all week behind him, the Arkansas driver. He's like me. He's got about a foot of snow on it around his house back in the Mid-South. He's out of the northwest corner. He may have more like what Chris Sullivan had. They probably got more than a foot. Jeremy Lacote out of Lincoln, Arkansas, the 75J. The CNC Motorsports powered Hughes race car, Lacote Automotive Repair, First Class Automotive, and DNZ Sales and Service for Jeremy Lacote's number 75.
He'll be followed by the driver of the number 28 out of Bosque Farms, New Mexico. That is Aiden Frazier in the Cooters Garage sponsored entry, the Sandia Speedway regular. And he will be followed by the driver of the 00 Ben out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. That is Joseph Swearingen in the Stow & Power GRT race car, the CRC Motorsports. And I have got something written down here that I don't think I can't read my writing, as James would say. The Capital Motor
I know what
Company,
you got.
Kevco. Is it the
Botanical Rhapsody Organics.
Yeah, but I've got letters in there that don't belong.
CRC Motorsports.
I've got CRC
Capital
Motorsports,
Motor
yeah.
Company.
Yep, the Botanical Rhapsody
wow, Tiffany called you out on
Organics
the
Capital
headset.
Motor Company Kevco Graphics sponsored entry. There we go.
Wow.
I had botanical spelled way wrong.
Well, how many
It was-
times do you say Botanical Rhapsody Organics? That's definitely a first-time sponsor
Well,
for me.
you know, hey, no doubt who this guy is, right? Josh Kane, 42-time winner a year ago in the Shipley Motorsports Tartan Construction Batteries Plus sponsored number 3J out of Rio Rancho, New Mexico, the defending USRA stock car champ here.
And what's his name? What's his nickname?
The Minor 49er.
That's right.
That's right, the Minor 49er. He's going to put that on the side of his car, I think. I looked for him to talk to him about that down there, and I did not see Josh Kane. And behind him,
Corey Pullen, I believe, is going to be in the 25C. One
Thank
win
you.
last year for the Grants, New Mexico driver. Rusty's the sponsor on that race car.
just Rusty's.
Just Rusty's. And then number 12, Isaiah Mendoza on the Speedway, because we don't have enough 12s in the pit area. Out of Albuquerque, the AOS race car, Sunbelt Rentals, Baxter Built, Leverage Equipment, and Shield Wall Arms, the sponsors on Isaiah Mendoza's number 12.
Behind him is going to be the 562 out of Fanshawe, Oklahoma, or excuse me, out of Roswell, New Mexico, Craig Walker in the Engine Works Country Club Animal Hospital, W Diamond Livestock sponsored entry. And
think we got him.
that it? How about that? So Rusty's on the side of what's his name's car out
Well,
there?
that's not nice.
The Corey Poland car. What do you? I mean, the Rusty's could be a lot of things. Could be a
Rust ease,
grill,
like you ease up
like
rust.
Buck Ease.
Rust.
Oh, Rust Ease. Okay, not Rusty the person. Rust.
No, not
Ease.
Rusty Shields. No,
Okay.
Rusty's.
I was going to say Rusty's could be a lot of it. Could be a bar.
No, it was
Grill.
like RUST dash EZE.
Okay, very good.
Who did we jinx to the infield, though?
Riella.
Riella.
Yeah, Riella Fanning down in the infield in the 21R. So the Albuquerque, New Mexico driver, she has spun to a stop just inside the Rio Grande Waste Services starting zone area.
Hey, we saw Mr. Larry Hank at
Yes,
dinner
we
the other
did.
night as well.
Yes, we did.
Man, we got so many great marketing partners here, and I know we say their names a lot, and that's because we couldn't do this event without them, just like we couldn't without you great fans, and we could not do it without all of the great racers and teams. But we're really blessed to have some great marketing partners here, and definitely what Larry Hank and the family have done to support us with this event. All the way back to Premier Waste Services when we were in Phoenix, and now
Yeah.
Rio Grande Waste Services here in Vado. We just can't thank him enough. And whenever you can, please support these sponsors and let them know where you heard about them.
Absolutely. Great people. And quite honestly, you do not have a race in the first week of January at Vado, New Mexico without them. And just say it. So it's a very much a sponsor-supported event, and we appreciate them. And some other big things happening with sponsors as well. We'll talk about Hooker Trucking and something they're doing when we have the Dirt Track Bank Super Late models come out.
We're going to talk about that, and Jeff Hooker really came up with something really cool yesterday. Very thankful. As we now shift gears, and we have now got the Mesilla Valley Transportation Border Tire Mods presented presented by Rancho Milagro. And the first car out, Carson Dish out of why can I not do it?
Marana.
I want to say Marinara.
You want to call it Marinara?
Marana, Arizona. The CNC Dirtworks, GAT Racing, Gertie Powered Shaw RX25. Jeff Taylor Innovation sponsor on that race car. Behind him in car number 32, Max Sadler. Coming to us out of Springerville, Arizona, the Lethal Chassis Klein Powered Springerville Automotive, car 32.
Behind him, out of Alamogordo, New Mexico, the 13-year-old, fresh from the Tulsa Shootout. That's going to be Ryder McCutcheon, Ben.
Let's go.
In the Baxter-built New Mexico Septic Service sponsor number 5X. He ran the Tulsa Shootout, and if you watch, I think actually the clip might have made FloRacing get upside down. And I asked Ryder back there, I said, how did the Tulsa Shootout go? He said, got a lot of airtime. He said, I don't want to talk about it. So glad to see him here for one of the first times he's been behind the wheel of a full open modified. He'll be followed by the J7, one of the regulars here at the FK Rodden's Vado Speedway Park. That is Jake Bowles in the USA Insurance sponsored number J7.
We've also got Kaylin Lopez out on the speedway in car number 16.
I think that's going to be...
Did we switch drivers?
I think it's going to be downtown Randy Brown.
Was he behind the wheel today?
Yep, I have not checked my race pass yet, but I did have some...
let's see. Let's just take a look at the lineups.
Inside information. No, it is Kaylin Lopez that's registered. They've just brought out the backup car, so my sources were incorrect. The Brown Racing, DRC Plumbing, State Water Heaters sponsored number 16K for Kaylin Lopez. That's what I get for trusting people.
Well, I mean, you give them benefit of the doubt. Behind them in car number 16, it's going to be Chris Hennigan out of Marshall, Texas. That white and blue number 16 rolling into turn number 3. CDR race car, Mullins, powered Arclotech Speedway, Raylos Auto Sales, Southern Roofing and Career Search. Chris Hennigan, a 17-time winner last year, 2-time defending Arclotech's modified track champion. And riding behind him, Jimmy Ray in car number 9, the driver that comes to us out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, the Rick's Performance Center, Mesilla Valley Transportation MVT for Jimmy Ray.
Casey Fowler is going to be the next driver you see on your screen out of Grant and Saline, Texas in the 64. The Salt City Storage, Texas Locomotive Solutions, Mac Tools, Full Throttle Supply sponsored number 64 for Casey Fowler. And another new entry behind him in the 39 out of Waxahachie, Texas. That's going to be David Gonzalez Jr. in the Charvet and Hurt Construction, Upstream Concrete, T. Hurt Construction, PSC Construction, Essex and Jarrett Construction Logistics sponsor number 39 for Waxahachie, Texas native David Gonzalez Jr.
You know, it's really cool. We released the FloRacing Night in America schedule a little while ago. Get a text from Mark Richards, put the whole schedule on the website, on the Rocket One website.
Oh,
Brandon
nice.
Shepard's going to go after another series title. We're going to have a loaded roster this year. The 80XX on your screen, Jason Langford out of Palestine, Texas, the Pro Power Racing Engine MB Custom Race Car. Langford and Sons Construction, E-Tex Energy Services, the sponsors on the one-time winner last year, Jason Langford. That came at RPM Speedway. And behind him in car number 77, that'll be Austin Cool, one-time winner last year at Salt City Racing out of Cave Creek, Arizona. The Precision Performance Rage Chassis, Klein Racing Engine, Cool Engineering, American Flowtech, all sponsors for Austin Cool.
Just two other drivers in this session of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. There's the Rogers, Arkansas driver, the 15L, Chris Lewis, the House Divided Racing, Porky Chicks Barbecue, Real Property Services and Land Management sponsored 15L for Chris Lewis, and one other driver in this session of Dirt Draft Hot Laps out of Ponca City, Oklahoma. That's going to be Troy Gamble in the 721, the Stowe-powered Mullins race car, the Yes Financial, LocalLoanGroup.com, Allen's Automotive Advocare sponsored number 721 for Troy Gamble. As we have another
Ricardo Olagi Jr. also sneaking out there out of El Paso, the Barnett Racing Engine, Vanderbilt Chassis, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Reddy Locksmith of SA, and Hoskin Plumbing, all sponsors on that race car. And did we get Jake Bowles? Did you catch him?
I got Jake Bowles.
Okay, you did. So I think we did get everybody then. DJ, right now, fastest car in this set, Jason Langford, Palestine, Texas driver, the 80XX. You see Carson Dish on your screen. Have Marana.
I'm waiting for you to call it Marinara.
Now I want cheese sticks. Now I want cheese sticks.
You've had a long day. By the way, I have got delicious chicken tacos waiting for us back at the house when we get back.
All right, sign me up, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, well, fastest in that set, Jason Langford. He had solid speed, and that one's 17.435. As we'll bring the next set of Mesilla Valley Transportation Border Tire Mods presented by Rancho Milagro out. What, 47 drivers in this division at last count here today?
Yes, at last count. And that might...
Solid count?
Let's see.
That'll keep us at 4 heats.
I'm going to update the My Race Pass app on my phone, and it is 47 of the Mesilla Valley Transportation Border Tire mods presented by Rancho Milagro, 44 of the Shocker Hitch X mods presented by Border Tire, and 39 Dirt Track Bank Super Late models presented by Black Diamond Race Cars for a grand total of 130 entries.
Sign me up, Coach. That's a hell of a turnout tonight. The car 420 leads the next set out. That'll be Rodney Sanders out of Happy, Texas, 5-time USMTS champion, 13 wins a year ago for that driver. And behind him in car number 65, Carlos Amata Jr. Carlos Amata Jr. 1 win last year. They came here at Vado Speedway Park in the Cornet-powered Hughes race car, Hacienda Mechanical, Bear Graphics, Eck Metalworks, and Penske Shocks 75X.
Next driver on your screen is going to be the Wichita Falls, Texas native in the D25. That's David Tanner in the Wichita Tank 87 Automotive. Mars race car, again, David Tanner in the D25. He'll be followed by the 54 of Carlos Amata Sr. Carlos Amata from El Paso, Texas, a Cornet power plant underneath the hood of that Hughes race car. The Hacienda Motorsports, Hacienda Mechanical, Bear Graphics sponsored 54 for Carlos Amata.
And car number 22B out of Shawnee, Kansas, Rick Beebe in one of the Blackout Motorsports bomb chassis, a Mullins power plant under the Rick Beebe Heating and Air Conditioning, McCarthy Auto Group car 22B. And riding behind him in car number 12, that'll be Jay Rosales out of Las Cruces, a CDR race car, Beast Racing Engine, Hacienda Carpet and Tile, and Truck Country number 12 for Jay Rosales. And right behind him, DJ, I believe a first-time visitor here today.
Well, Lucas Ward first off in the 11. Yep, we just saw Lucas Ward. There's a first-time visitor this weekend. He was with us here last year out of Lubbock, Texas. That's going to be Cody Tanqueray in the Gibbons Power GRT race car, the TNT Dirt Armor Guns Up Testing and Backhoe, sponsored number 37T for Cody Tanqueray. There's a look at Lucas Ward on your screen in the 11. He's just in front of him in the Gus's Speed Shop, Ashley Furniture, Santa Teresa Self-Storage sponsored number 11 for Lucas Ward.
The 127 of Peyton Phillips out of Chinook, Kansas, the Danny Crane Racing Engine, Bills built Sonic Racing, Oakwood Coins number 127, 9 wins last year, the track title at Humboldt and 81 Speedway. And then behind him, the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer and the Ozark Hall of Famer as well, Old TP in car 75, as we got Cody Tanqueray on your screen, the 37. We're going to jump back behind the 127 of Peyton Phillips. There we go, Terry Phillips. And the Durham-powered Bloodline race car, Don Babb Motorsports, Karst Industries, Andy's Frozen Custard entry, 6 wins last year for Terry Phillips. He was in the thick of things the other night. And behind him, his good buddy, welcome back to dirt racing, Bumper Jones, McDonald's of Gallup and Grants, New Mexico, BLT Trucking, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Bloodline race car with a Stolen Racing Engine for Bumper Jones.
And I think that's all of them on the track for this next set of Dirt Draft Hot Laps for the Mesilla Valley Transportation Border Tire Modified, presented by Rancho Milagro. Again, 47 entries for these drivers tonight. They will go into 4 heat races. They've drawn pills already in the top 16 in passing points. After those 4 heat races, will lock themselves into tonight's 20-lap A main. Everybody else falls into one of 2 B mains coming up a little bit later on this evening.
So racetrack looking pretty good so far, as we'll continue here in Dirt Draft Hot Laps, get those lineups in, unlike I've done so far. I'm going to find time. I'm going to make it happen. Get them in, as we will have a few more waves of modifieds, and then we'll go into Dirt Track Bank Super Late models presented by Black Diamond Race Cars for their Swift Springs qualifying. A little bit of smoke coming out of David Tanner's D25. We'll keep an eye on that. Fastest lap we've seen so far in the mods, Terry Phillips, 16.957. Only driver in the 16-second bracket. A Hall of Famer getting around Vado Speedway Park. He won here a couple of times last year, once here during the West Shootout.
And the second quickest right now, Rodney Sanders. So Buzzy Adams was going to be behind the wheel of that race car this weekend. I talked to Rodney down there in the pits. Rodney's up there close to the top in the points for the week. Yeah, so Rodney's back behind it for tonight, and he said we'll see. Rodney said we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Well, he's also a leading contender in the mods for the Dirt Pro Incorporated Best in Show. Each division's got cash on the line, and you see that race car, great looking race car that the Mars brothers have brought to the desert. And yeah, Rodney Sanders been in this car so far. We may see Buzzy Adams, another one of those Wasota legends. It'd be cool to see Buzzy at some point this weekend. But hey, man, they're going after a points title too, as it pays an extra $1,000 to be the points champion here in the mods. I tell you what, to roll on the racetrack just a little bit. Tiffany, if you have it queued up down in the trailer, we came out here yesterday and had a little bit of a meeting, and I got a little bit of a video. If you weren't out here yesterday, you see what you see now. Let's show you what you missed yesterday. Yeah, this was the racetrack. This was 10:30 yesterday morning, Mountain Standard Time.
Oh, why didn't you race?
Yeah, you could have raced. It was ready to go. So, yeah, and that's what we had. I mean, and keeping in mind that At one point, there was over an inch of snow on the ground. So, yeah, I shot that video out here yesterday. And welcome to the desert, Chad Harrington, where it never snows unless Ben and DJ come to town. Glad to have Chad here with us from Matman Designs, another great supporter of racing. But, yeah, I shot that video, and then Matt Curl and Chris Kearns and I sat down and debated on who might want to buy the event from us.
And listen, there's not a lot of places where you can have an inch of snow on the ground or on the racetrack one day, and you can turn around and be racing the next day. And that's a testament to this racetrack, the location.
And it's crazy weather. We have 9 inches of snow on the ground in Memphis. We never get snow like that in Memphis.
It's
just
across,
crazy
it's
times.
across the whole country. Rick Ortega is going to lead the next group of Mesilla Valley Transportation Border Tire Modifieds out on the racetrack. He hails out of Las Cruces in the BMS Power GRT race car, the Winning Edge Carburation, Lift Arms Construction, Ballistic Race Trailer sponsor 24 for Rick Ortega.
How about that second guy out there?
Yeah, how about that? Not in an X mod. It's going to be a Mesilla Valley Transportation Border Tire Modified 4. Well, the anticipation's killing me. Reese Solander out of Lebo, Kansas, and the Mullins Power. That's a Blackout Motorsports, a bomb race car. The Murphy Agra LLC, Hodges Farms and Dredging, MRSK Buildings, Flint Hills Towing, Midwest Wrap, sponsored entry for Reese Solander, a 9-time winner 1 year ago.
How about a 2-time winner right behind him on your screen? John Neil Reed out of Loving, New Mexico, the Johnny Reed Trucking, Johnny Reed Farms, Mullins Powered Hughes race car. Both his wins came at Abilene Speedway, and rolling around the Speedway right behind him, it's going to be C.J. Halsey in car number 77, the El Paso, Texas driver. He won last year once down in Chihuahua, Mexico, and the other time he won here at Vado. 2 wins last year in the Sound Signal Systems Vanderbilt race car, 9th in last year's mod standings here at Vado Speedway Park.
Behind him is going to be the 2-time USRA national champion out of Hayesville, Kansas. That's Tyler Davis, a 3-time winner a year ago. In the number 65, that's another Blackout Motorsports chassis, the Gerber Collision and Glass, Central Spray Foam and Cement Lifting, Hodges Farms and Dredging, Rick Beebe Heating and Air sponsored 65 for Tyler Davis. And behind him is one of the racing Gallardos. Let's wait for it. It is Vito Gallardo, dear old dad, behind the wheel of the number 17 out of Las Cruces. 4 wins a year ago for the driver that was second in the Vado Speedway Park point standings. The Gallardo Construction, JGF built, G3 Fitness sponsored, number 17 for Vito Gallardo.
Behind him, the 131, the owner-operator here at Vado Speedway Park, who also owns Mesilla Valley Transportation. It's Royal Jones, the 131. 1 win last year, came in the 305 Sprint Car division here. He's the Rancho Milagro, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Pro Power Racing Engine, MB Customs 131.
And behind him, Ben, is going to be the Artesia, New Mexico driver. That's Joel King, who's making his first appearance of the weekend with us in the King Motorsports Camp of the Tall Pines, Double M Operations, Raider Graphics sponsored GRT race car. The 157 is Joel King.
And the Josh Kane in the mix as well. He stuck up there as well, the Rio Rancho, New Mexico driver. The 88 out there of Nathan Smith on the racetrack. Had a good run going the other night out of Anthony, New Mexico. The Chevrolet, Viva Chevrolet, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Hatfield-powered MB Customs race car for Nathan Smith.
And Mark Smith with this as well.
Yeah, he practiced with us back during a windstorm on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. Is that Peyton Gallardo in the 17? I don't see a letter on it, so it must not be Jake. Must be Peyton Gallardo in that 17. It could be a lot of people. It might be Rocco Gallardo.
It is Peyton.
Hey, there you go. Peyton Gallardo, Rocco Gallardo, Vito Gallardo. All the Gallardos.
Terry Phillips Gallardo.
Terry Phillips Gallardo. We've, it looks like there's Royal Jones in the 131, and we saw Mark Smith out there on the racetrack as well. Same sponsors for him, 2 wins a year ago for the Anthony, New Mexico driver Mark Smith in the 2SS, the Viva Chevrolet, RVB Transportation, Victory Fuel, BRZ Investment and Consulting sponsored 2SS for Mark Smith. There's Royal Jones in the 131.
So far, Rodney Sanders staying on the race car, only dropped. And actually, we got 2 in the 16-second bracket. Terry Phillips there as well, but Rodney Sanders, fastest time in Dirt Draft Hot Lap so far.
Royal Jones, 3rd quick right now with a 17191, the fastest driver in this set of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. As they're going to give these drivers an opportunity to roll this racetrack in just a little bit. As from our vantage point here in the booth, the mountains there off of the back straightaway just behind I-10, the sun just hitting them. Spectacularly. And one thing that I noticed when I drove in here today, the mountains off of the back straightaway, they still had just a wee little bit of snow on the top, and that snow has since melted here in the last few hours.
Yeah, I told Cheryl it had a flare of Lord of the Rings coming in there with a little bit of snow.
I like that.
That's very cool. And there's a lot coming up on FloRacing, DJ.
Yeah, there absolutely is. A lot of big events coming up here on FloRacing. I'll take a look at some of those here on the left side of your screen. As we got the Chili Bowl, of course, next week, January 12th to the 18th. Hey, how about the I-500, man? What was it, a couple years ago, came right down to the checkered flag. The snowmobiles up there in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. The Pro Superstar Shootout is back for the second year in a row at Bradenton Motorsports Park. FloRacing Night in America and the Lucas Oil Late Models in Illinois in May. Z-Max Cars Tour, North Wilkesboro. Bob Weichert Memorial at Port Royal in May. That is an incredibly small sample of some of the upcoming events here on FloRacing. And again, that is in just an unbelievably small sample size. If you are watching at home and you know someone that is not a subscriber to FloRacing, now's the time, man. Start of a brand new year, you subscribe now to get the rest of the Wild West Shootout. You get the Chili Bowl, you get the entire Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series season, you get High Limit Racing, you get USAC, you get the return of the All-Star Sprints, Mars Late Models, and a whole lot more, all right here on FloRacing.
Bonus points when the I-500 came down to inches at the end. Who was your winner?
It was Cody Bauer.
It was Cody Bauer.
Cody Bauer.
The Farwell, Michigan driver,
That's
yes.
right, that's right. Former Gateway Dirt Nationals prelim winner. Yes, it was.
Nothing gets past you, DJ.
Well, I did forget Ray Moore's name earlier, so.
I tell you what, and if you're here in the grandstands, go by and check out the Race Chick trailer. You can pick up the official event merchandise for the Rio Grande Way Services Wild West Shootout presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Or if you're at home, go to onefasttee.com. I'm rocking one of the hoodies today, and I tell you what, I love the look of it. This thing is warm, man. I am all about a good, comfortable hoodie.
Broke a sweat over there.
It was good. It was good snow shoveling weather out there to get the snow out of the grandstands. But yeah, onefasttee.com. They have T-shirts, they got hoodies, they got sweatshirts, they've got hats, they got all kinds of stuff. Go by and see Jim in the Midway. Also, Bobby Pierce has Racehorse got their trailer out there. Garrett Alberson as well. As DJ, how about this? It's time now. Swift Springs qualifying presented by Scriven Motor Speedway's Winter Freeze for the Dirt Track Bank Super Late Models presented by Black Diamond Race Cars. 3 cars at a time, Group A and B. And up first is going to be Kart K7. That's going to be Keaton Smith out of Clinton, South Carolina. That driver joined us back on Saturday night. The FTR Motorsports Aiken Ridge Landwork Kennedy Excavating Pro-Built Powered K7. The 82 of Ian Whistler out of Otis, Oregon, 2-time winner last year. The Meredith Logging, Knotworks Construction, RK Construction, Vic Hill Powered Rocket Chassis. And Steve Stoltz in car 78. He comes to us out of Peoria, Arizona, the Dirt Pro Incorporated, Alpine Stars Mobile Medical Center, Rockwell Sunglasses, and Right Shock Technology 78 for Steve Stoltz.
And as the times come up, we will pass those along to you, or at the very least, let you know exactly where the drivers sit.
Hit refresh over there.
And I know, I got it. We're good. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Yep, Steve Stoltz right now, the fastest driver of the trio on the track. And then on the second qualifying lap, that's how they'll stay. Steve Stoltz, 1.4576. Ian Whistler, 1.4751. And Keaton Smith, 1.5550. So Steve Stoltz lays down the early time to beat here in Swift Springs Time Trials presented by Scriven Motor Speedway's Winter Freeze.
Up next, Brandon Shepard out of New Berlin, Illinois, second in the mini-series points right now. Car B5, the 97 of Kate Dillard out of Roebling, Louisiana, the 15S of Clayton Stuckey out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Brandon Shepard, the Valvoline, Paulson Rock Products, Dusty Construction, Shepard Auto Sales and Salvage, Team Realtree, Denny Woodworth, Attorney at Law, American Racing Wheels, Pro Power Racing Engine, a Rocket XR 1.2 for the B5 of Brandon Shepard, a 7-time winner last year, now 5-time defending World of Outlaws champion. He went after the Lucas title this year with Rocket 1. The 97 of Kate Dillard, 3 straight Vado Fall Nationals wins to his credit, 15 wins a year ago. The Mississippi Valley Transportation, SS Fishing and Reels, Joel's Auto Sales, Jody's Oilfield Services, Johnsville Company, Clements Powered Longhorn, and Clayton Stuckey in the Black Diamond race car out of Shreveport, Louisiana. The Lucas Oil, Advanced Powder Coating, Maury Transport, FiberTech Laser Cutting, Probo, AccuForce, Dyno and Testers, Clements Black Diamond for Clay Stuckey.
And Clay Stuckey 5th quick, Brandon Shepard 2nd, Kate Dillard 4th at the end of lap number 1. Lap number 2, Brandon Shepard stays 2nd behind Steve Stoltz. Kate Dillard now goes to 2nd quick, and Clay Stuckey to the top of the leaderboard with a 1.4.453. So wow, after 6 drivers, it's Clay Stuckey, Steve Stoltz, Kate Dillard, and Brandon Shepard, your top 4. Oh my.
Let's go, Clay Stuckey and Steve Stoltz. Up next will be Drake Troutman out of Hindman, Pennsylvania, the 22 star. The 4P of Richard Pappenhausen out of Chico, California, and the 1 Turbo Tyler Erb out of New Waverly, Texas. Drake Troutman, the Team 22 Inc., Victory Circle Auto Sales, Mississippi Valley Transportation, Brickhouse Tavern, RFI Resources, Jerry's Siding, Roofing and Windows, Gambler Transport, Dirt King Apparel, Sunoco, all sponsors on the Cornet Powered Longhorn for last year's Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Rookie of the Year. Drake Troutman, 6 wins last year for him. Richard Pappenhausen in car 4P. Longhorn race car out of Chico, California. The Kevin Scherer Designs. Dave Pappenhausen construction entry. And joined on the Speedway by the 1T of Tyler Erb. Out of New Waverly, Texas, the Best Performance Motorsports, Sunoco, First Class Septic, Anthony's Pizza, Lake and Felter Mechanical Contractors, Pee Wee's Record Service, Clements Powered Rocket for Turbo. 19 wins last year in the Summer Nationals Championship.
Absolutely. Again, they are all gunning for Clay Stuckey's fast lap of 1:4.453. Troutman's going to check in second quick on lap number 1. Pappenhausen will be 7th fastest his first time around. And Turbo is 5th quick, lap 2 for Drake Troutman in the 22. Top of the leaderboard, Ben. 1:4.443 for the Heinemann, Pennsylvania driver. Richard Pappenhausen goes 8th quick, 1:5.101 on his second lap, and Turbo's second lap is a little better. He is 5th fastest, 1:4.656. Right there is the new driver atop the leaderboard in Swift Springs time trials with a 1:4.443. It's Drake Troutman after 9 cars.
Up next out of Bakersfield, California, Ethan Dotson of the 74X, the 77 of Preston Luckman out of Coos Bay, Oregon, and the 14S of Colin Weinberger, feature leader the other night on Sunday night out of Corbett, Oregon. Ethan Dotson, the ASD Motorsports, BK Grading and Paving, American Racing Pro Series, Torco Racing Wheels, Boswell Oil, Penske Shocks, Clements Powered Longhorn. 4 wins a year ago for Ethan Dotson. He'll be on the World of Outlaws Tour this year. The number 77 of Preston Luckman, a 7-time winner last year. The Pro Power Racing Engine Rocket XR1, Quad L Industries, Three River Casinos, the Sea Valley Transportation, Far West Tire and Supply, and Oregon Tool and Supply. L&L Lumber Outlet sponsored entry for Preston Luckman. And Colin Weinberger, car 14S, 16 wins a year ago. The Schramm Brothers Excavating, Swan Island Sheet Metal, Reed's Automotive, Checker Flagged Asphalt, and NW Platinum Trucking, Clements Powered Longhorn for Colin Weinberger.
Ethan Dotson, 3rd fastest on lap number 1. Preston Luckman goes 7th quick on his first trip around, and Colin Weinberger 10th fastest, so look, pick that up, 1:4.760. Second lap for Ethan Dotson. That's quick time, Ben. 1:4.352 for the Bakersfield, California driver. Preston Luckman moves up to 5th, 14.635, and now Colin Weinberger goes 5th quick. Much better lap for him, 1:4.615. So after 12 cars, it's now Ethan Dotson with the time to beat, 1:4.352.
Up next, it'll be Kent Rosevear out of Yuma, Arizona, the 02, the 8 of Dylan McCowan out of Urbana, Missouri, and the 28B of Carson Brown in New London, North Carolina. Kent Rosevear and the ProTech Fleet Services, Jack Meadow Racing, Gordy Speed Center, Wells & Sons Motorsports, Performance Bodies and Parts, Cornet Powered Longhorn, joined on the Speedway by Dylan McCowan in car number 8, 2023 MLRA Rookie of the Year, 3-time winner last year, the Sonic, Pomeroy Services, BLC Transportation, Empire Energy, Elite Construction, Heritage Tractor, Scott Bailey Powered Infinity Race Car, another driver run for World of Outlaws Rookie this year, and joined on the Speedway by the 28B of Carson Brown out of New London, North Carolina, the Vic Hill Powered Longhorn, Pay Cafe, EBB Logistics, GBS Brand Connect, Bill Stein, Sunoco, A-Bio Clinical, and Midwest Sheet Metal, all sponsors for Carson Brown.
Kent Rosevear is 11th fastest on lap number 1. The 8 of Dylan McCowan checks in 12th quick, and the first lap time for Carson Brown is good enough for 7th fastest. Lap 2 for the Yuma, Arizona native. It's going to be Kent Rosevear, and his second lap's a little better. 12th quick, 1:5.037. Dylan McCowan's second lap, 12th quick, 1:4.907. Carson Brown's second lap, not as good. He'll stay 7th quick, 1:4.644. We've now had 15 drivers attempt a lap in Group A. Ethan Dotson, Drake Troutman, Clay Stuckey, currently your top 3.
Up next out of Otis, Oregon, I'll turn on the microphone. Jimmy Whistler in the 28, the 42S of Don Shaw out of Ham Lake, Minnesota, and the 18 of Chase Younghands, 15th to 3rd out of Manhattan, Kansas. 15th to 3rd back on Sunday night. He was the Rio Grande Waste Services hard charger. Jimmy Whistler, the Whistler Investments, all-purpose storage, Whistler Construction, MS Shock Therapy, Vic Hill Powered Rocket XR1. Whistler had 1 win a year ago, followed out by the 42S of Don Shaw, the Vic Hill Powered Longhorn, Shaw Trucking, Blaine Brothers, EMR, Lube Tech, Dane Oil, West Bay Leasing, Structural Buildings, West Metro, Buick, GMC, and North American Trailers, all sponsors for Don Shaw. 3 wins last year for him. And Chase Younghands, 1 win a year ago for the driver of the Bozard Ford, Otis Oil Company, Paulson Rock Products, Sussy Construction, Younghands Ranches, CGR Auto Sales, Clements Powered Rocket XR1 for Chase Younghands.
First lap time for Jimmy Whistler is going to be 12th fastest. Don Shaw is now 12th quick, and Chase Younghands, a lot of gap between himself and Don Shaw. Younghands has been pretty good out here so far, been 16th fastest on lap number 1. Lap 2 for Jimmy Whistler, a little better, but he stays 12th, 1:4.767. Don Shaw jumps up to 9th quick on lap 2, 1:4.653. And the second and final lap time for Chase Younghands, a little better. He'll be 14th, 1:4.844 for the Manhattan, Kansas native. 18 drivers have now attempted a lap in Group A, with Ethan Dotson still laying down the time to beat and the fastest lap, I think, of the week, Ben, if I'm not mistaken, 1:4.352.
14.304.
Oh, okay, the Albertson lap, okay.
Well, we'll see. Somebody could get there. Final 2 qualifiers in Group A. It'll be Kyle Beard out of Truman, Arkansas in the 86 and the 74. Mitch McGrath out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. Kyle Beard, 2-time Comp Cam Super Dirt Series champion, 5th in the series standings last year. The Clements-powered Longhorn Man Motorsports, Gary Beard Trucking, Autocraft, KB Trucking, Schaefer's Oil, Swift Springs, the Extreme Race Graphics, all sponsored on the 86 car. Meanwhile, in 74, brand new Longhorn race car, Pro Power Racing engine for Mitch McGrath, the Galloping Ghost Motorsports and Transport, Culver's Butter Burgers and Frozen Custard, VG Performance, Bailing Racing Equipment, and Gary Bellman Trucking, all sponsors of the Source Services 74 for McGrath.
How about Kyle Beard, second quick, then 1:4.353.
By a thousandth of a second,
Absolutely.
too. Can you do it?
Mitch McGrath, 13th quick on his first lap. Those are the only 2 drivers on the track right now. Second lap time for Kyle Beard. No.
Wow.
1:4.470 is second lap time. It'll be second quick as it stands right now. Mitch McGrath, a good lap. He jumps up to 5th quick on lap 2 with a 1:4.570, and that's going to be it for Swift Springs Time Trials, presented by Screven Motor Speedway's Winter Freezing Group A. So the first half of the field's wrapped up qualifying, and Ethan Dotson has the quickest lap with a 1:4.352.
By a thousandth of a second.
Yes, absolutely. Kyle Beard, second quick, 1:4.353. Those 2 drivers, as long as their times hold up, will start on the front row of heats 1 and 2 respectively. Drake Troutman, third quick. Clay Stuckey, 4th fastest, will be alongside. Then it's Mitch McGrath, Steve Stoltz, Carson Brown, Colin Weinbarger, Preston Luckman, and Keith Dillard rounding out the top 10. That should make for some interesting heats, Ben. Turbo, 12th quick. Brandon Shepard, 13th. Chase Younghand, 16th. Make for some interesting heats, my friend.
If I'm not mistaken, it might have been yesterday was Ethan's birthday. Man, day late birthday present could come here tonight with his first Wild West Shootout win. We'll find out. Is a good way to start. We get set now for Group B here in Swift Springs qualifying, presented by Screven Motor Speedway's Winter Freeze. And your first 3 is going to look like this. Tony Jackson Jr. out of Lebanon, Missouri. The 58 car of Garrett Alberson out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. And the 13 of Bryson James out of Albany, Oregon. Tony Jackson Jr., 5-time Mars champion, 2-time Lucas Oil MLRA champion. The Sloop Enterprises, Chase Motorsports, Swift Springs, Sunoco Racefields, Willwood, Willard Quarries, and Deathridge Opticians, all sponsors of a Scott Bailey powered Longhorn for Tony Jackson Jr., who had 2 wins last year. Garrett Alberson, a huge year last year, 8 wins. The Low Voltage Solutions, Romer Machine and Welding, Titan Racing Products, Midwest Sheet Metal, Nutrient Ag Solutions, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Dickey's Doghouse, all sponsors on that Lucas Oil Mitchell Ranch, Clements powered Longhorn for Garrett Alberson, the Ken and Beth Roberts owned 58 car, and joining him on the Speedway, Bryson James out of Albany, Oregon, the Schramm Motorsports, Schramm Brothers Excavating, JK Pickle Trucking, that's fun to say, James Gagan Pizza, Northwest Platinum Trucking, Donofrio Skyline Ford, all sponsors of the Shepherd Racing Engine Longhorn. Bryson had 17 wins last year across 3 divisions.
You know what, Garrett Alberson's been a quick qualifier both nights so
and
far, right?
Could he beat his own
that's,
time?
That's what I'm wondering. That's you read my mind there, man. Well, we're about to see, because the slate's been wiped clean. This is the first group of cars to qualify in Group B. Tony Jackson Jr., 14.843. Garrett Alberson, he's close, man, 14.394. Bryson James, 14.746. Lap 2 about to flash up in front of you for the 56 of Tony Jackson Jr. Third quick, 1.4811. Garrett Alberson, yes sir, 1.4283. Fastest of the night, fastest of the week for the Las Cruces, New Mexico driver. And Bryson James will be second quick with a 1.4656. But you got a new quick qualifier overall tonight and for the week. It's Garrett Alberson from just up the road in Las Cruces, 1.4.283 for the driver of the Ken and Beth Roberts Racing Longhorn.
Up next will be Seth Daniels out of Jackson, Ohio, and the S21, the 19 of Dustin Sorensen out of Rochester, Minnesota, and the 28M of Sam Mars out of Menominee, Wisconsin. Seth Daniels, and the Wilson Excavating, Tim Haddle Trucking, S&D Transport, Sunoco Race Fuels, Red's Rolling Garage, Fox Shocks, Ryan Powered Rocket, one win last year. That came in at Atomic Speedway in Ohio. Joined by last year's World of Outlaws Late Model Series Rookie of the Year, car 19. It's Dustin Sorensen, a 5-time winner last year overall between the late model and the mod, and the heavy hitch, Sorensen and Sorensen Painting, Paulson Rock Products, Stussy Construction, JNS, JCB, Altenburg Construction, Rochester Chevrolet, CBR Drilling, Yagi Transportation, and GunShepherd.com. All sponsors in that Pro Power Racing Engine Rocket Playkin Longhorn race car. And the number 28M of Sammy Mars, an 8-time winner last year, the Pro Power Racing Engine, MB Custom, Vite Specialty Contracting, and Waste Management, Depi Enterprises, Kai Chevy Town, CMD Shocks entry for Sammy Mars.
Dustin Sorensen second, Sam Mars third, Seth Daniels fourth. After lap number 1, lap 2 for Dustin Sorensen. Stays second quick, 1:4.449 is the best lap for the Rochester, Minnesota driver. Menominee, Wisconsin, Sammy Mars jumps up to third, 1:4.486, and Seth Daniels goes fourth quick. His best lap, a 1:4.629 after 6 cars. Garrett Alberson, the time to beat in Group B, and overall with a 1:4.283.
Up next out of Nacogdoches, Texas, the 53M of Jason Miles, the 60 of Terry Carter out of Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, and the 11 of John Kirby out of Russellville, Arkansas. Jason Miles, the 92 Graphics, MJM Excavating, Buster Roberts Logging, Cornet Powered Black Diamond 53M, the Texas Racer, joined by Terry Carter out of Alberta in car number 60. His 10th Wild West Shootout here in 2025. The Clements Powered Capital Race Car, Ford Signs and Promo, Good Guys and Alden Auto for a really good guy, Terry Carter in the 60. And John Kirby in car number 11. He comes to us out of Russellville, Arkansas. Snowy right now, Russellville, Arkansas. The Kirby Specialties Corporation, Construction Resources Group, Eagle Lake Farms, Clements Powered Longhorn for John Kirby, a 2-time winner last year in car 11.
It's going to be Jason Miles tripping the trigger first, and his first lap time is seventh quick, 15:973. Now Terry Carter going to be 7th fastest on lap number 1, and John Kirby goes 7th quick. They're all three of them battling for 7th fastest there on the first lap, man. Lap number 2 for Jason Miles is not as good, 1:6.154. He'll be 9th quick. Terry Carter also not as good. He will be 8th. John Kirby able to improve. He'll jump up a few spots to 4th fastest, 1:4.585. We've now had 9 drivers attempt to lap in Group B. Garrett Alberson still the time to beat, 1:4.283.
Did get confirmation yesterday was Ethan Dotson's birthday. Up next out of Bend, Oregon, Tomas Hunziker in the 38, the 10N of Rob Sanders out of Bakersfield, California, and Bobby Pierce out of Oakwood, Illinois. Tomas Hunziker, the Certainty AM1 Roofing and Siding, Spirit Fueled Racing International, SRS Distribution, Pro Power Racing Engine, Rocket XR1, joined on the Speedway by Rob Sanders. Welcome back to Late Model Racing, Rob Sanders, the Pro Power Racing Engine, Longhorn, West Coast Boring, Citizen Suspension, Mystique Tanning Salon, HSR Equipment, and Bill Stein, all sponsors for Rob Sanders. And Bobby Pierce, undefeated so far this week in the Low Voltage Solutions, Rio Grande Waste Services, Sea Valley Transportation, Churchill Transport, College Brothers Towing, Fast Ones Beach Up, Toyota of Danville, Carnegie Towing and Auto Repair, and RVBT Transport, all sponsors for Bobby Pierce. 38 wins last year, 2 already this week in the Vic Hill Powered Longhorn.
Well, let's see where he goes as he's about to cross the line. 2nd quick, good lap, 1:4.404. Tomas Hunziker's best lap, 10th quick, 1:4.949. Rob Sanders, 8th quick, his best lap, 1:4.723. Does BP have anything for Garrett Alberson? He does not. 2nd lap, not as good. Bobby Pierce's best lap time is 14:404, so it's Garrett Alberson, Bobby Pierce, Dustin Sorensen. Now your top 3, Ben, after 12 cars.
Up next, Brennan Willard out of Lebanon, Missouri, and the 3, the 69 of Ross Bells out of Clover, South Carolina, the 6 of Jake Neal out of Omaha, Nebraska. That's your next 3 qualifiers, as Brennan Willard in cart number 3, the Longhorn by Mikey Kyle, Scott Bailey Powered, Willard Asphalt, Willard Cattle, Midwest Sheet Metal, Lebanon Ready Mix, Icon Graphics and Apparel, the Wake Construction 3W. Meanwhile, while Ross Bells had to go back home, didn't miss a night of action, though, because of the weather. The 69 and the AK race car, Barbarino's Pizza Engines and Asian Spot, and Remington Piper on the side of that race car for Bells, 3-time winner last year. Jake Neal in car 6 out of Omaha, Nebraska, the Todd's Auto Body and Glass, Choice Agronomics, Select Auto, Al Humphrey Racing, and Downtown Recycling, all sponsors for Jake Neal.
Brendan Willard going to be 8th quick on lap number 1. Ross Bales is 7th fastest his first time around. Jake Neal's first lap time is 6th quick. Good laps for those 3 drivers. 2nd lap time going to come up for the 3 of Brendan Willard. 10th fastest, not as good. 1:4.722. Bales gets high up off corner number 4. That'll scrub off speed. He'll rely on lap 1, 8th quick, 14.652. And Jake Neal not as fast on lap number 2. He will stand on lap 1 at 6th quick, 1.4612. Ben, 15 drivers have attempted a lap. Just 4 drivers remain in Group B. They're all gunning for Garrett Alberson's time of 1.4.283.
Yeah, we'll break it into groups of 2. It'll be Jake Tim out of Winona, Minnesota in the 49, and the 99 of Luke Solis, out of El Paso, Texas. Jake Tim, 6 wins a year ago, all in the mud, and Longhorn Vic Hill Power Plant here this week. The Herco Environmental, GorillaMill.com, Oak Ridge Fabrication, Mesquite Valley Transportation, OFI Performance, Foreman's HVAC, River City Manufacturing and Machining, Riverland Trucking, Stone Machinery, and CNC Machines. JNS Cattle's all sponsors on that race car. Meanwhile, in car 99, Luke Solis out of El Paso, the Mitchell Suspension Engineering, Flips Bar and Grill, Time Bomb Racing, Crossroads Animal Hospital, Rocket Chassis XR1 for Luke Solis.
Jake Tim going to be 13th quick, his first time around in the 49 car. Luke Solis, the former legend standout, goes 16th fastest with a 1.5.821. Second lap time now for Jake Tim, second in last year's US MTS point standings. 10th quick, second lap a little better, 1.4.704 for the Winona, Minnesota driver. And the El Paso, Texas native, Luke Solis, will be 16th quick. Lap 2 was his best lap, 1.5718. Garrett Alberson, Bobby Pierce, Dustin Sorensen, Sammy Mars. Right now the top 4, as we've got just 2 drivers left to qualify here tonight.
It'll be Keiko Perez out of Chihuahua, Mexico in the 3K, and the 157 of Mike Marlar out of Winfield, Tennessee. Keiko Perez, the Pro Power Racing Engine, Rocket XR1, Shamrock Racing Team, Mitchell Suspension Engineering, Grupo Anbeck, and 4Leaf, all sponsors on the 3 car. And the 157 of Mike Marlar, former World of Outlaws champion, 2-time Wild West Shootout champion. In the Skyline Motorsports Truck Country, Quick Supply Company, Bruning Rock Products, Mesquite Valley Transportation, Can-Am Auto, Salvage Browns, Heavy Equipment, VP Racing Fuels, Bill Stein, American Racing Wheels, and Paulson Rock Products, Stussy Construction, Clements Powered Longhorn for Mike Marlar. 7 wins a year ago. Marlar trying to get the first one on the season here tonight.
And it starts with a good qualifying lap, Ben, as he's gunning for Garrett Alberson's lap time of 14.283. Let's see where Marlar falls on lap 1. He's not going to like that lap. 15th, 1.5038. Keiko Perez 16th, 1.5143. Both those drivers looking to improve on lap number 2. Marlar going to bring the Skyline Motorsports entry off corner number 4, and he does not improve. He stays, I checked that. He does improve, but he jumps up just a couple spots to 14th. Marlar's best lap, a 1.4879. Again, that's good enough for 14th. Keiko Perez, his best lap was lap number 2, 1.5.141, and that is unofficially a wrap on Swift Springs Time Trials presented by Screven Motor Speedway's Winter Freeze. And there you see the qualifying results for Group B. Garrett Alberson, fastest lap in Group B, fastest lap of the night, and fastest of the week right now, 1.4.283. Bobby Pierce second quick, Dustin Sorensen third. Check that again, Sammy Mars fourth. And if those times hold up, those 4 drivers will be on the front row of heat races 3 and 4. John Kirby, Jake Neal, Seth Daniels, Ross Bales, Bryson James, and Jake Tim going to round out your top 10 in Swift Springs Time Trials presented by Screven Motor Speedway's Winter Freeze.
And it's worth saying, as you touched on, Garrett Alberson, fastest time of the week, $1,000 in the Rio Grande Waste Services Shock the Clock Challenge for fastest lap of the week. Garrett Alberson has set fast time every night so far. Tonight, he just might go to victory lane with Hoker Trucking. As we're going to step aside, thanks to marketing partners, they're going to roll the cushion in, and we're going to get ready for opening ceremonies. We'll be right back to FK Rod-End's Vado Speedway Park, presented by Low Voltage Solutions. You're watching everything from the Wild West Shootout here on FloRacing. Don't go anywhere.